the SL65 AMG Black Series. To remove the hydraulic unit of the rear spoiler, extend it with the rear lid closed. Follow the tips in this VIS document. How to exchange the hydraulic pump and to bleed the single components is shown in our Akubis program, Pump Exchange of the Rear Spoiler AMG. Now we install the hydraulic unit with the rear spoiler base into the rear lid. To show you this more clearly, we use the removed boot lid. First, organize all your nuts and bolts, and then you'll need a second pair of hands. So get a colleague to help you. He holds the spoiler base and you fasten the pump with 4 nuts. Next, lead the spoiler base into the intended opening and fasten it with 4 screws and 4 nuts. Don't tighten the nuts all the way yet. Do the same on the other side. Also put the nuts on the cylinder and don't tighten them yet. You can, however, tighten the nuts on the pump with a ratchet. Check the gap measure of the spoiler base in the rear lid. Use a flashlight for this. The gap to the rear lid should be the same all the way around the base. Because you haven't tightened the screws, you can still correct the gap measure. If necessary, tighten the individual screws more firmly. Tighten the screws with a torque of 6 Newton meters. Next, connect the cylinder's electrical connection to the pump. And put on the protective cap. And do the remaining connections on the left side. Place a protective sleeve over the plugs. Then on the other side. The hydraulic line is fastened with a clamp directly to the cylinder. Fix the protective sleeve with cable ties in the connection clips. Then fix the electrical cables with a cable tied to the hydraulic line. The hydraulic lines are also fixed using a cable tie to the cylinder. Same goes for the cylinder on the other side. When this is done, you can mount the rear spoiler. Position the threaded sleeve in the intended openings in the rear spoiler base. This is tricky to do, so use a suitable tool to help you. Then insert the discs. Then put on the spoiler and screw it on. Lower the rear spoiler. So that no air can come into the hydraulic system, the rear lid is also closed. Lastly, check the gap measure between the leading edge of the rear spoiler and the boot lid. The gap measure must be the same on the right and the left. That's good. Now nothing is in the way of the customer's driving pleasure.